How's it going, everyone? It is ZLR, and today I'm doing my Week 10 recap for the UFL season, the final week until the playoffs. And this week was kind of weird, to be completely honest. We had games that were close and games that definitely were not close. But anyway, we are going to start here with the DC Defenders and the St. Louis Battlehawks, as the Battlehawks won 13 to 8 and will actually be the game next week for the conference championship. I just spit everywhere. I am so sorry if you guys saw that on here. Jesus Christ, I did not mean to do that at all. But anyway, like I said, Battlehawks won 13 to 8. We had Brandon Silvers complete 6 passes out of 8 attempts for 105 yards. Um that's not many attempts at all. Jarby and Howard, 19 attempts at rushing for 89 yards and a touchdown. Uh Kevon Letulis, I believe, not too sure still. 10 attempts at rushing for 59 yards, and Brandon Silvers, 2 attempts at rushing for negative 2 yards. Hakeem Butler, 1 reception for 38 yards. Blake Jackson, 2 receptions, 32 yards. Jacor Pearson, 2 receptions, 32 yards. And Kevon Latulis with 1 reception for 1 yard. Not too much going on there on the Bellhawk side. The defenders had Mike DeLillo. No, Mike DeLillo. Mark DeLillo? Not too sure. 18 completions out of 26 attempts, 142 yards and a touchdown. He also had 10 attempts at rushing for 60 yards. Abram Smith had 11 attempts at rushing for 43 yards. Deion Jackson had 2 attempts at rushing for 3 yards. And Darius Haggins had 2 attempts at rushing, didn't get anything out of it. Then we had Seth Williams, 4 receptions, 41 yards, and a touchdown. Bren Bresh, Bren Ben Breschanen with 2 receptions, 25 yards. Javon Antonio, 2 receptions, 24 yards. Jaden Mickens, 2 receptions, 14 yards. Chris Rowland, 2 receptions, 13 yards. Abram Smith, 1 reception, 7 yards. Mason Fairchild, 2 receptions, 7 yards. Deion Jackson, 2 receptions, 6 yards. And Darius Haggins, 1 reception for 5 yards. Then we had the Houston Roughnecks and the Michigan Panthers go at it, with the Roughnecks winning 19 to 12. This one was a pretty good game. I can not lie there. But we had Jalen McClendon complete 17 passes out of 31 attempts for 193 yards. Lorenzo Lingard had 11 attempts at rushing for 30 yards and a touchdown. Kirk Merritt had 8 attempts at rushing for 19 yards. Jalen McClendon had 3 attempts at rushing for 1 yard. And Chris Blewitt, Blewitt, I do not know that. I do not know that name at all, boss. But that is 1 attempt at rushing for 1 yard. Kiki Chisholm, 4 receptions for 44 yards. Emmanuel Butler, 1 reception for 41 yards. Kirk Merritt, 1 reception, 25 yards. Justin Hull, 4 receptions, 22 yards. Lorenzo Lingard, 3 receptions, 21 yards. Jaquarius Spivey, 2 receptions, 15 yards. Cam Sutton, 1 reception for 13 yards. And Cyril Grayson with 1 reception, 12 yards. And for the Panthers side of things, we had Danny Etling, 5 completions out of 12 attempts, 70 yards, and a interception. And Rocky Lombardi with 8 completions at 18 attempts for 61 yards and a interception. Nate McCrary had 12 attempts at rushing for 68 yards. Rocky Lombardi had 3 attempts at rushing for 30 yards. Danny Etling had 6 attempts at rushing for 26 yards. And Matthew Colburn II had 4 attempts at rushing for 25 yards and a touchdown. Talking a little too fast here. I need to slow down. Jalen Moore, 3 receptions for 30 yards. Jalen Weidermer, I don't know, 2 receptions for 26 yards. Xavier Malone, 1 reception, 24 yards. Matthew Colburn, 3 receptions for 24 yards. Nate McCrary, 2 receptions, 15 yards. Gunnar Oaks, 1 reception, 11 yards. And Malik Turner, 1 reception for 1 yard. And for the defensive side of things, because there was actually 2 interceptions, I will speak of those 2 guys that had it, which was Marvin Moody, 8 total tackles, 3 solo with a interception, and Keenan Isaac with 7 total tackles, 4 solo, and a interception. Then we had the Arlington Renegades and the San Antonio Brahmas go at it. The Renegades won 23-6 in a absolute one-sided game. Honestly, not too sure what the hell happened to my favorite team this season, but we definitely need to get better. Luis Perez completed 26 passes out of 32 attempts, 283 yards, and Holton Ahlers had 1 attempt at passing, didn't complete any, and had a interception. Day Hunter had 9 attempts at rushing for 37 yards and a touchdown. Tony Jones Jr. had 4 attempts at rushing for 12 yards. Luis Perez had 2 attempts at rushing for 9 yards and a touchdown. Javonta Payton had 1 attempt at rushing for 2 yards. And Holton Ahlers had 4 attempts at rushing for a negative 11 yards. Sal Cannella had 5 receptions for 86 yards. Isaiah Winstead had 5 receptions for 53 yards. Javonta Payton had 4 receptions, 38 yards. Seth Green had 3 receptions, 34 yards. Day Hunter had 3 receptions, 29 yards. Tyler Vaughns had 3 receptions, 24 yards. Tony Jones Jr. had 2 receptions for 11 yards. And Deontay Burnett had 1 reception, 8 yards. For the Brahmas side of things, Kellen Mond, 17 completions, 27 attempts, 150 yards. Jashawn Corbin, 10 attempts at rushing for 55 yards. Kellen Mond, 3 attempts at rushing for 14. Anthony McFarland, 2 attempts at rushing for 6 yards. Jaden Sheridan, 1 attempt at rushing for 4 yards. And John Lovett, 3 attempts at rushing for negative 4 yards. Jacob Harris, 2 receptions, 39 yards. Greg Ward, 3 receptions, 34 yards. John Trey Kirkland, 3 receptions, 29 yards. Jaden Sheridan, 3 receptions, 17 yards. Jashawn Corbin, 1 reception, 11 yards. Marquez Stevenson, 1 reception, 8 yards. Steven Stylianos, 2 receptions, 8 yards. D. Anderson, 1 reception, 3 yards. And John Lovett, 1 reception for 1 yard. And for the defense, because I know that there was a interception, we had Jalen Elliott of the Brahmas get 5 solo tackles, 5 total tackles, 3 solo, and 1 interception. And last but not least, we have the Birmingham Stallions and the Memphis Showboats going at it, with the Stallions winning 46-9. Holy shit. Jamar Smith had 13 completions out of 17 attempts, 127 yards and a touchdown. Andrew Peasley had 9 completions out of 14 attempts for 93 yards. We had Ricky Person Jr. have 9 attempts at rushing for 42 yards and a touchdown. Larry Roundtree had 11 attempts at rushing for 34 yards and a touchdown. Andrew Peasley had 2 attempts at rushing for 22 yards. Marlon Williams had 1 attempt at rushing for 12 yards. Amari Rogers had 2 attempts at rushing for 6 yards. And Jamar Smith had 1 attempt at rushing for 2 yards. Jace Sternberger had 1 reception, 37 yards. Amari Rogers had 4 receptions, 36 yards, and a touchdown. Marlon Williams had 2 receptions, 33 yards. Cade Johnson had 4 receptions, 30 yards. Davian Davis had 3 receptions, 26 yards, as well as Jalen Camp. Deion Kane had 2 receptions for 23 yards. Jordan Thomas had 1 reception for 9 yards. Larry Roundtree had 1 reception for 6 yards. And Barry Wesley had 1 reception for -6 yards. For the Showboat side of things, we had Dresser Wynn complete 13 passes out of 24 attempts, 113 yards, and 2 interceptions. And Troy Williams, 3 completions out of 4 attempts for 14 yards. Deneric Prince had 10 attempts at rushing for 39 yards and a touchdown. Jalen Jackson had 6 attempts at rushing for 29 yards. Dresser Wynn had 1 attempt at rushing for 15 yards. Troy Williams had 2 attempts at rushing for 7 yards. And J.J. Wilson had 1 attempt at rushing for 1 yard. Kay Loxley had 5 receptions for 55 yards. Jonathan Adams had 2 receptions for 25 yards. Isaiah Henney had 4 receptions, 22 yards. J.J. Wilson had 1 reception, 10 yards. Deneric Prince had 2 receptions, 9 yards. Elijah Stove, 2 receptions for 6 yards. And for the defense, which I believe was from the Stallions, Mario Goodrich. Nope, never mind. Not Mario. It was not Mario. It was indeed Tay Crowder. 1 total tackle, 2 interceptions. And these 2 interceptions were pick sixes. The only guy in UFL history so far to get 2 in 1 game. And this guy was just in the NFL a few years ago as the Mr. Irrelevant, which is actually really crazy. And this guy got 2 pick sixes in this game. So, congratulations to him for doing that. And this is the last the last recap video of the regular season. Got 2 more weeks. We have the conference championships and the UFL championship game. So I will definitely be seeing you guys at that point. You will see me next in the next few days with my predictions for the conference championship games. So hope you guys like that. But anyway, like, subscribe, comment, do really whatever you want to do. And as always, I will see you all in the next video. See you around.